American record holder in the marathon at 2:18:29 from Chicago last year, prepping again for Chicago. Two-time NCAA champion at Providence, two-time USA track and field champion, former American record holder at the half marathon, but that just got broken by your friend Cara D'Amato in the Gold Coast in Australia. But anyway, fabulous, fabulous runner. Hellen Obiri from Kisii, Kenya. Hellen Obiri, fresh off a 1-second win at the TD Beach to Beacon 10K in Cape Elizabeth, Maine, a couple of weeks ago. The race in the hometown of Joan Benoit Samuelson, the 6-time Falmouth Road Race women's champion. Hellen is also a 2-time world champion at 5,000 meters, 2-time silver medalist in the Olympic 5,000 meters, a world cross-country champion and world indoor champion, the only woman to win a world cross-country title, a world outdoor title, a world indoor title. A fabulous athlete. Anyway, give them both a hand, Hellen and Emily. Emily, you're holding the mic. Lovely to see you. Your first time at Falmouth. What have you heard?
I've heard great things of this road race. I went to college in Providence, Rhode Island, which is only an hour away, and every summer I had friends come up here and run it. And every year they're like, you need to come run this race. And every year we just kept putting it off. And when we were planning my schedule for Chicago this year, we were like, why don't we do it now? And yeah, I've been looking forward to doing this race, and I hear it's a good one. I hear the atmosphere is amazing. The course can be a little challenging, but the weather doesn't seem that bad this weekend. So it looks like a good day for it.
How does it fit in with the marathon preparation?
For me, it just breaks it up. Marathon training is a lot of miles, a lot of hard, grueling workouts. So putting a race in every now and then is kind of fun. It just breaks it up and gives me something to look forward to, especially when I'm working so hard. I want something fun in the middle to break it up.
Great. Let me talk to Hellen for a second. Hellen, welcome. Nice to see you from last week. How did you recover from the race up in Maine?
So far, I've been recovering so well, and I took like 2 days off so that my body can recover towards this race. And I'm so excited to be here. It's my first time to do 7 miles distance, so I'm so excited to see how I can do the distance.
Now, of course, the World Athletics Championships, track and field championships, have begun today in Budapest. Hellen, is part of you in Budapest? I mean, thinking, because you're a former 2-time world champion on the track.
Okay, sometimes I do feel jealous. I do feel that I should be there doing 5,000, my best event 5,000. So sometimes I say that it's all about time. It's all about my career and moving to road races. We do miss track, but nothing we can do about it.
She's done rather well in moving from the track to the roads. After all, she is the 2023 Boston Marathon Women's Champion. Hellen, what's the difference between running on the road and running on the track? Is there a difference?
Yeah, in track we do need speed, but sometimes in marathon it's a lot of mileage. Sometimes you can just mentally focus because it's another difference, it's another miles. So for me, for the first time, it was a little bit challenging because doing like 200 kilometers per week than speed. So, but I do like now, I do enjoy doing it. I do do like a lot of miles in my legs. So I do probably enjoy running road racing now.
And which marathon are you preparing for?
I'm preparing for New York Marathon on November.
And what have you heard about that?
Last year I did New York debut, and it's not went so well the way we planned, but I'm going there now to focus and to do, when I won Boston Marathon, so everybody's looking at you, everybody's watching at you, how you can do it. So I think like I have 12 weeks of preparations. I will be ready, and I will be ready to tackle the New York Marathon.
And they will suffer the consequences. Let me talk to Emily. When you moved from the track to the roads, was it a natural transition?
Yeah, it felt pretty natural. I actually, I love road races. I did my first road races back in college just for fun. I was visiting my boyfriend at the time, now husband, in Ireland, and we had some workouts on the schedule, and we're like, oh, let's not work out, let's just go jump in some road races for fun. And it felt, for me, something so new and so different. I'd been running track and cross country for so many years, and I was like, this is so different. And I loved it. I loved the atmosphere. I love the community feel of road races. And for me, it just felt very natural, like going on the roads and just having, like, just racing by feel and racing my competitors with all this like room on the track. Sometimes I get a bit claustrophobic. So I've just, I don't know, taken to the roads. I love them.
Talk about your coach. You're still coached by Ray Tracy?
Yes.
His brother, he was a Providence College star in his day, as his brother John was. John was a two-time world cross-country champion, which is huge news back in Ireland in that day. But Ray has turned into be one of the great coaches in the world and has had many, many successful athletes. What's been the key? What is it about Ray Tracy as a coach which has made him so good at that?
I think it's a few things. He's pretty intuitive, I find. He knows what works for each of his athletes. He coaches me, but he coaches Molly Huddle, Kim Smith. He's coached some amazing runners. And he knows we all are a little bit different, and he knows kind of what we need and what works for us. And I think that's really important, to know how to individualize your training a little bit. And yeah, I don't know, I've just gained a lot of confidence working with him. I really trust he knows what he's talking about. He's not someone that'll just say things for the sake of saying them. If he tells me I'm in 2:18 marathon shape, I go run 2:18. He's like spot on. I don't know how he does it. I don't even know if he knows how he does it. But yeah, there's something, just something about working with him I've really enjoyed, and I've been working with him for like 12 years now.
Well, it seemed to work. Hellen, your coach now is Dathan Ritzenheim.
Yeah.
Dathan Ritzenheim, of course, a great American runner. He was a silver medalist at the World Half Marathon Championships back in I think it was 2009. And it was interesting. He wanted to come run the New York City Marathon. He ran 60 minutes flat, which is like one of the second fastest time in American history. And he got the silver medal at the World Championships. And he wanted to come run New York because he was in phenomenal shape. But he hadn't really trained for the marathon. And his coach at the time was Alberto Salazar. And Al said, no, we're not going to let you do it. I wonder if Dathan ever regrets being in that condition and not jumping in that marathon, even though he turned into a 2:07 marathoner. But talk about switching to an American coach. How was that decision made?
For me, I say, like, running in a marathon, I need to have a coach who can see what I'm doing. Sometimes he can have a time with me to collect me. So I said, can I try to move to USA to train with Dathan? Sometimes he's a great coach. He has done so many marathons in New York, marathon in Chicago. So he has that experience of advising me what to do. And so far, I've been training with her for him with 1 year. So it has been going on well. And sometimes we do keep on pushing towards the end. So it's a great coach, actually.
I was looking at my notes, and Hellen didn't start her first major race was the Kenyan Armed Forces Cross Country Championships in 2010. Did you have the traditional upbringing? And you were fourth of 6 children, I believe. And were you a runner as a young girl, or did you come into running later in life?
Well, I've been raised, I never used to run because sometimes you don't have support. You don't have support from the parents. Sometimes when you come from ample background, you don't anybody you can just run barefoot to school. So I don't have that encouragement of running. But when I joined KDF 2009, so they told me you have a talent. So for me, I didn't know which talent I had. I used to do long jump, 200 meters, 100 meters. So sometimes you don't know which distance is best for you. So I kept on running, and sometimes one coach told me, can you try to do 1,500 meters? I said, I can just try. And I did 1,500 2011, and it was my first time. And luckily, I got Kenya team to World Championships in Daegu. So that was my breakthrough. Since then, I've been making Kenya team. So I did 1,500. I have done 357. So, and I said, can I try to do 5,000? And in 2015, I tried to do 5,000. In 2016, I did Olympics for 5,000 and I got silver medal. So I tried on keep pushing towards the marathon now.
Wow, it's just 357, that kind of speed, and you can carry that into the distances. That's why she's such a killer. Emily, what's been your favorite performance ever?
I'm talking about how much I love the roads, but I think my favorite performance is the 10K at the Olympic trials in 2021. It was a really hot day that day, but I feel like there's a few days in your career where you just feel amazing and everything just clicks, and that was one of those days, and I'm really proud of that performance.
Did you win the race?
Yes.
Did you run your PR?
No, I didn't run my PR, but no, it was a good run.
Talk about, our sport seems, not on the roads, but certainly on the track, every event above 400 meters has a pace setter, it seems, except the Olympics and the World Championships. And we get to seem so focused on time rather than focus on competition. I always have a tendency to say, the race is what it is, the time is what it took. The time is not the goal, the competition is the goal. Do you get that feeling that we've sort of reversed what we should be paying attention to, and we don't build up rivalries, we don't big up, every race it seems like we're going against the best time in the history of the sport.
Yeah, I think a little bit. I think they're just different challenges, but I think it has to do a lot with the times. I think with the current times, I mean, I think with like the new shoes, everyone's just wanting to see how fast we can run, like how quick can we run the track, how quick can we run on the roads, and that's exciting too. That is fun. I think competition though is what really brings the best out of us, and when you're racing other men and other women, I feel like that's where I can dig really deep, is when I'm racing other competitors, and that's like how I felt getting into the sport. That was the main emphasis. So I think that's important not to lose sight of that too. But it is cool to see what your limits are as well, especially in this new era.
Every once in a while, there should be a race where you see how fast you can go, but not every race. Hellen, talk about these new shoes. I mean, of course, we have a great title sponsor in ASICS, but everyone now has the new shoes. But you used to compete with the old shoes, and now you're competing with the new shoes. What is it about these new shoes? Do you notice the difference?
I do say yes, because there's a lot of technology now. Like when we used to run 2011, 2010, we can't say the shoes it's like today, because there's a lot of technology in shoes. You can run faster, and sometimes I do say, like, if you have a good shoes and you don't train well, you can't run well. So sometimes it's about your mental, how you are being prepared for the race. Because if you can just give me a good shoes and I can't train well, I can't run good time. So I do say sometimes it's all about how you train and how you focus about the shoes.
Do the shoes allow you to train more hard workouts with less recovery?
Yes, I can say yes.
So it does make a difference.
Yep.
Well, that's great. Listen, questions from the audience. Put your hand up.
Emily, you moved from Phoenix back to Rhode Island to train. What made you make that decision when everyone else goes out west?
Yeah, my husband and I lived in Phoenix for a few years, and we moved up to Flagstaff in 2021. And I just found it's a bit personal preference, but I prefer training at sea level, and I like going to altitude to train for like a month at a time, but I prefer doing the bulk of my marathon training down at sea level. And so our options were Phoenix or here, and it's really hot in Phoenix right now. And I have a good community here. My husband and I lived here for 8 years in Rhode Island, and so my coach is based there, my mentor, Molly Huddle. We have friends and family there still, so it's actually a really nice place to train. Good running locations and good community there. So yeah, we're really enjoying being back.
Well, why don't we wish Emily and Hellen the best of luck in the race tomorrow. They're going to be right up here, you can be sure, and for the rest of their fall season as well. Thanks, Emily. Thanks, Hellen. Best of luck to you. Thanks, everybody.